Hi, this is Jack Kelly, CEO, founder, WeCruitr. Today, I want to talk about something that I really don't want to talk about, which I know that sounds kind of weird, right? But there's certain topics I'm really excited and it's great and motivational and positive. Other times like this. So it's about ageism. So now, if you don't think this happens to you, trust me, with ageism, when you say that, you're like, I'm not old. I don't have to listen to this. Yeah, if you're kind of in your mid 30s, late 30s, you got to listen. So start from mid, late 30s to 40s, 50s, 60s. So what I want to talk about is this. It's always been a thing, ageism, where there's discrimination against people. I think the technical legal thing is like 40 and over is a protected class. But for some reason, it's just kind of overlooked. I'm not really sure why, but it is. It could be in part is that there's a direct correlation between someone's age and how much they're earning. And it makes sense. It's logical. Think about it. If you're just starting out your career, 2, 3, 4, 5 years in, you're going to be earning, kind of starting out money. If you have 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years, well, theoretically, you're going up high on the, totem pole. So you're making more money. So I think a lot of what happens is that the ageism intersects with the amount of money people are making. So it's very easy to say, hey, Jack, we don't want to hire you because you're going to be looking for, $250,000, whereas I could get Jane, who's 24 years old, and we could base her job in Florida or Utah or Austin and pay $30,000, $40,000. So which are we going to do? It becomes a no-brainer. Let's go with that younger person in a lower cost city or state. Now, here's the issue. If you're kind of in your mid-late 30s, your 40s, 50s, 60s, it's tough, particularly during a pandemic, because companies, as we're all aware, aren't really keen on hiring. They're not hiring aggressively. They have hiring freezes. They're downsizing. So it makes it so much more challenging to find a job. And I don't want to say that companies are saying, no, we're not going to hire you, Jack, because you suck on Werther's candies and peppermint candies, and you smell like mothballs, and you walk around the office in a bathrobe and slippers and a pipe and one of those old-fashioned nightcaps. And like, no, that doesn't jive with our corporate culture. It's not that. It's, I think, really the money. That's the issue. So here's how to fight back against ageism. So I figure, first I want to frame it that it's a thing. Like it or not, it sucks, but it's there. Now, we could complain about it. We could say, I'm going to sue this company, but to get involved with lengthy litigation, you'd rather have a job and make money and have a career and move forward. So here's how we have to battle back against ageism. A couple things. First of all, let's jump forward to when you're in the interview. So when you're in the interview, you know what they're thinking. They're thinking, Jack is going to come in here, he has 25 years of experience, he's going to boss everybody around, sit on his ass in the desk with his feet up on the desk, shout, bark orders to people. He's going to say, well, I've been doing this for 20 plus years, and this is how I've done it, so I would say you do it. And, back in my day, we did things this way. That's how they're thinking. Is it fair? Is it right? No. But come on, just between us, if you're kind of a Gen X or a boomer, you're saying the same thing about millennials, and you're saying the same thing about Gen Zs, but different way. You have your own preconceived notions. So no one's innocent with this. We're all we all come into this with our preconceived notions. And, but when it affects us, we're alert. When it's someone else, you're like, whatever. So what you need to do is this. This is what they're thinking. They're thinking Jack's going to come in there. He thinks he's going to know everything. He's going to want to boss everybody around. He's going to have all the answers. He's not going to do the work. You know what I mean? He's going to disappear for an hour and a half for lunch. He's older, so he's tired, so maybe take a nap at his desk. And you're like, why do we want this person? Knowing that this is kind of sort of what they're thinking when you interview. So the key is this. When you interview, you want to get in front of them. Before they ask the questions, you want to dispel any myths they have about your age. So here's a couple of things you say. I'm really excited to be here. I love your company. I love what you're doing, your mission, and I want to contribute to the team. I bring a wealth of experience, but I don't have an ego. I don't need to be in charge. I don't need to be a manager. I really want to be a team player, and I want to be part of everything. Also, I'd be glad if you'd like, and if the people on your team would like, to serve as kind of a mentor and give some advice. And if not, that's fine. But the key is, I really like this job, I like the opportunity, and I want to be here. In any way I could be a team player, I'm aboard. Now also, they're going to worry about the dollars. So then you kind of say this, hey, I get it. I was earning a lot. However, I'm at a point in my life, I'm making a pivot. I want to do something different. I want to give back a little bit, if you will. So when it comes to compensation, I would definitely work with you. To me, it's more important about the job, the opportunity, the growth, and the people. And I see this all with your company. So for the money, I'll be happy to work with you within your budget. Now you got that done. In terms of a flight risk, because here's what they're thinking. Okay, Jack says he'll take a certain amount of money, but as soon as he has a better offer, he's leaving. So then you want to bring up and say, hey, just so you know, I'm the kind of person that if I say I'm going to take this job, I'm going to take it, give it 150% day in and day out, and I will not move anywhere else. Because once I give my word and make a commitment, I stand by it. So you don't have to worry about me being a flight risk if something else comes along, because I'm committed. So see what we did here? So we let them know you work with the money, you're not going to leave if something better comes along, you're not going to bark, shout orders, because you're saying you want to be a team player, you want to help out. So now if they're asking you questions, you've kind of made them calm down, because that's what they were worried about. So now you're kind of on that same wavelength. So when you start having that conversation, you've already addressed the elephants in the room. So like, oh, okay, I feel a little better about it. And then hopefully the dialogue can flow. Now that's one point. The second point is this, and I feel so uncomfortable talking about it because it's just so wrong and it shouldn't have to be this way. But part of what I'm doing with, WeCruitr, we meet up with these videos is just to tear back, the curtain and show what really happens behind the scenes and not pretend and not bullshit and say, hey, this is what really happens. Even though it sucks and it's unfair and it's wrong, this is what happens. Because that's the value I add by giving you this insider information so that you can know with your eyes open, oh, this is what goes on. And if you always wondered, hey, is this going on? It kind of confirms what you already thought. So what you want to do too is, and this is where I'm comfortable saying it, but you need to make sure they don't view you as out of style, out of touch, out of date. And we all know what this is, And sometimes this is not an age thing. You could see people who are in their teens and 20s who are old men and women, in the sense that, and that's kind of wrong to say, right? So I probably shouldn't say that, but what I mean by that is that they have a mentality that you wouldn't think a young person would have. Same thing, you could have people of a certain age, 40s, 50s, 60s, who are so youthful and dynamic. They surf, they rock climb, they go to rock concerts, and so on. So you want to project an image that despite your age, your chronological age, you have the energy, the ambition, the drive, the motivation, to succeed. And you have to play the game. And playing the game means this. You look around the office or you find out before, what's the dress attire? How's the culture look? So maybe you don't feel comfortable wearing a concert, black t-shirt and ripped jeans, but maybe you find something a little less formal that fits in. If you have like me and you're getting a gray beard, maybe just shave it. Maybe, when you get the gray over here, just dye it a little bit, so it's, gets a few years off of your look. You want to make sure if you have young, maybe if you have kids, if you have nephews, nieces, cousins that are kind of younger than yourself, tap into them. Find out what kind of music they listen to. What's their cultural touch points? What's the lingo? Because different generations use different language. They're into different things. So you want to kind of find out what the 20-somethings, early 30s are doing. Not that you're pretending to be someone you're not, but you just want to be open-minded. For instance, as a recruiter, I always, and as a writer, for Forbes, I always want to kind of know what's happening, because it's too easy to know your silo, your bubble, and not be aware. So I go out of my way to talk to so many people in all walks of life. I'm the annoying guy that if I go to the restaurant, I'm chatting up the waiter and the waitress. If I see some other patrons, maybe I'll chat them up. In the elevator, I'll talk to people, wherever, because I find it's great to just get, ideas, information, what's happening. So what you want to do, if you're a certain age and you're worried, am I going to stick out like a sore thumb? Get in touch with people. Watch the TV shows they watch. Listen to the music they listen to. Try to get the cultural references they do, the lingo, beyond the social media that they're on. So this way, when you have conversations, you get it. Now, you don't have to pretend. You know that meme where you have Steve Buscemi wearing the hoodie and he's carrying a skateboard. It's like, hello, fellow kids. It's cringy. You don't have to do that. But I think people respect the fact that you make an effort to understand who they are, what they're about. And I think they'll appreciate you to say, oh, okay, this guy gets it, he's not pretending and acting like he's 22 when he's 42, but he respects what we do and cares about what we do and listens and wants to learn. That's fantastic. We have to be authentic about it too. It can't just be, like making believe you do it. So here's the deal, to wrap it up. What you want to do, ageism is out there. It's horrible, it's terrible, but like a lot of things in life, what are you going to do? Except try to, overcome it and try to do something for yourself and take control of your life and career. So the first thing is when you interview, it doesn't have to be first thing, but when you interview, you want to get ahead of the questions they're asking by letting them know that you could learn, you could be part of the team, you could contribute, you're not going to be a flight risk, you're open with respect to title and money, and really you just want to be part of it. And should make them feel comfortable. Also, it's always nice to see if you can mentor and help people in terms of the way you dress, talk, act, that it kind of fits in so you don't stick out. Now, does that sound uncomfortable? Yeah, but that's life. You got to play, you got to play the game sometimes. That's how it is. When a knock also on people of a certain age is that they don't know technology and software and they're afraid of it and they don't know how to deal with it. Go out of your way to learn, because it's a dead giveaway if, you're like, how does this Zoom thing work? What's this Instafacegram thing about? Hey, I'm going to send out a Twitter to somebody. You want to kind of take the time and effort to learn what the current things are. If the company you're interviewing use Slack and you haven't used it, figure it out. If they use Zoom calls and you haven't done it before, get on Zoom and so on. If, let's say, you're not on Instagram, you're not on Twitter, you don't have to go on there and do stuff, but at least familiarize yourself with what they're about. So once again, you feel culturally then more connected. The hiring managers, the employees are going to feel more comfortable with you. You're going to feel comfortable because you're kind of, hey, I'm learning something new. We all want to learn things new, and you're going to get exposed, to ways that other people think and work and learn. You learn these new technologies. It might not be easy, but now they make it easy to learn. It might be hard to learn, but they make it easy where you can find these courses online. They're all over the place now, particularly in the pandemic. I noticed just, wherever you turn, they're saying, hey, check out this course to learn this and learn that and learn something else. So try to learn. It doesn't mean you have to be an expert in everything, but at least if you go on the interview, you can say, yes, I'm familiar with such and such technology. I'm familiar with such and such, software. And and you can see why. You can probably even hear my voice, like I'm not my usual upbeat, positive self, because I feel bad that you take a whole segment of the population and we have to almost change ourselves to get a job. But as I said before, it is what it is, and we have to do what we have to do. And if it means, kind of shifting, changing, adapting, well, that's part of the game. And that's what we have to do to stay relevant and keep moving forward. I hope these tips help. After this, feel free to Google and look up other things about it, but this is a good starting point. So it's Jack Kelly, WeCruitr. Thank you very much for watching and listening.